Hello there and welcome to the Science with Sleep, where tonight we will drift together into the infinite, mesmerizing expanse of the night sky, a vast canvas sprinkled with stars, planets, and galaxies, each with stories of birth, life, and eventual death stretching across unimaginable distances. And as you settle comfortably, close your eyes lightly and imagine the soft, calming glow of the moon overhead, casting gentle silver light, while constellations stretch above like ancient maps, etched into the heavens, guiding both imagination and travelers for millennia, as the planets move silently along their orbits, reflecting sunlight and offering glimpses of distant worlds. Yet beyond these familiar sights lies an entire hidden universe. Stars whose light has traveled for millions, even billions of years, to reach us, entire galaxies blurred into faint smudges. Nebulae glowing with colors we may not even perceive with the naked eye, and the night sky, though visible every day, remains endlessly magical, inviting you to breathe slowly and picture yourself floating in this cosmic expanse, where every star is a sun with its own planets, some possibly harboring life, while our Milky Way contains hundreds of billions of stars, each orbiting the galactic center in a dance that takes millions of years, and yet from Earth we see only a few thousand on the clearest nights. With galaxies like Andromeda faintly visible as ghostly spirals, their stars blending into soft glows. And as you contemplate this, imagine the life cycles of stars, born in nebulae where clouds of hydrogen and helium collapse under gravity, igniting nuclear fusion, fusing hydrogen into helium, and in massive stars, progressing to fuse carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and heavier elements, creating the very building blocks of planets, oceans, and life itself, while smaller red dwarfs burn slowly, quietly, for trillions of years, providing a steady, gentle light, and when massive stars exhaust their fuel, they explode as supernovae, scattering enriched material across space, seeding the next generation of stars and planets, so that every atom in your body, every breath you take, is a product of cosmic processes spanning billions of years. And as your mind wanders, consider Polaris, the North Star, standing steadily above the northern horizon, marking true north, a guide for explorers, sailors, and travelers across the ages, while the Earth itself wobbles slowly in a cycle called precession, causing constellations to shift over millennia, so even what feels eternal is part of a long celestial dance, and ancient patterns like Orion, Cassiopeia, and the Big Dipper, though appearing timeless, slowly change as stars orbit the galactic center, reminding us that the night sky is alive, dynamic, and always in motion. While the Milky Way stretches across the heavens as a luminous river of billions of stars blending together, a sight that swells in brilliance far from artificial light, revealing distant galaxies, faint nebulae, and shooting stars, which are actually tiny grains of cosmic debris burning in Earth's atmosphere, fleetingly bright, and the sky is full of binary stars, pairs orbiting each other in elegant harmony, as well as clusters of stars, like the Pleiades, sparkling like fireflies, or massive globular clusters containing hundreds of thousands of ancient suns, each with its own story. While the Orion Nebula glows faintly as a stellar nursery where thousands of stars are forming, clouds of gas and dust swirling and glowing under the influence of ultraviolet light from young, hot stars, creating reds, blues, and greens in a cosmic dance, and reflection nebulae nearby scatter starlight like celestial mirrors, soft and gentle, while supernova remnants glow faintly, marking the end of massive stars and leaving behind neutron stars or black holes, tiny yet unimaginably dense, bending space itself with their gravity, sometimes pulling matter and swirling accretion disks that emit X-rays across the cosmos. And as you imagine this, picture pulsars spinning rapidly, sending beams of light across space like cosmic lighthouses, while magnetars unleash bursts of energy powerful enough to affect distant stars, and exoplanets orbiting distant suns, some rocky, some gaseous, some with thick clouds and possible oceans, drifting unseen yet potentially hosting life. While rogue planets wander freely between stars, unseen except by their gravitational influence or subtle infrared glow, and imagine cosmic dust drifting silently, forming protoplanetary disks around newborn stars, slowly coalescing into planets, moons, and asteroids, each a tiny world of possibility. And beyond that, dark matter, invisible yet shaping galaxies, holding stars together with its unseen gravity, while dark energy drives the expansion of the universe, stretching galaxies apart at accelerating speed, and in the far reaches, quasars blaze with energy from supermassive black holes, their light traveling billions of years, a reminder of how dynamic, violent, and energetic the cosmos can be. And as your thoughts drift over these phenomena, let yourself contemplate the immense scale of time, from millisecond pulsars to stars burning for billions of years, to galaxies evolving over cosmic epochs, while the Andromeda Galaxy, faintly visible without a telescope, stretches across 200,000 light-years, its light taking more than 2 million years to reach Earth, a reminder that when we gaze at the sky, we are peering into the deep past, seeing ancient photons that left distant worlds long before humans walked the Earth, while in another 4 billion years, Andromeda and the Milky Way will collide, merging into a single, massive galaxy, a slow, graceful cosmic dance, and the stars themselves, with colors from red to blue, tell the story of temperature, age, and chemical composition, revealing secrets to astronomers who split their light into spectra to measure their elements and motion, while the twinkle we see from Earth is caused by atmospheric turbulence, bending and shifting light, and from orbit, stars shine steady and unbroken, their colors vivid and pure, while meteors streak across the sky as ephemeral sparks, and nebulae glow with emission or reflect starlight, revealing clouds of gas and dust shaped by gravity, radiation, and stellar winds, creating cosmic canvases of pinks, blues, and greens, while clusters of stars, globular and open, orbit galactic centers, each with their own age, history, and dynamics, and Sirius, the dog star, shines brightly in Canis Major, a close neighbor at 9 light-years, twice as bright as any other star in the winter sky, part of a binary system with a faint white dwarf companion, guiding humans across cultures and centuries, linked to mythology, calendars, navigation, and storytelling, while the Milky Way itself, our home galaxy, contains hundreds of billions of stars, with countless planets, nebulae, clusters, black holes, and remnants yet unseen. And when you close your eyes and breathe, imagine drifting among all of this, a vast, living, evolving universe of light, matter, and energy, a cosmic ocean stretching across space and time. And as you feel the vastness, allow a gentle calm to flow through you, knowing you are a part of this living story, connected to stars, galaxies, and the atoms forged in the hearts of ancient suns, carried gently by the timeless dance of the cosmos, letting sleep take you softly, deeply, and peacefully as the universe whispers its quiet, infinite lullaby. When you look up at the night sky, what you're really seeing is a calm ocean of light stretched across eternity, each star a distant sun whispering softly through space, their glow traveling for thousands, even millions of years before touching your eyes. And though the stars appear frozen, unmoving, and silent, the truth is that the night sky is alive with motion, stories, and secrets older than time itself. Every star you see twinkles because its light must pass through the moving air of our planet, and that shimmer, that tiny dance, is like the heartbeat of the cosmos reminding you that everything out there breathes, moves, and changes. When you stare at the brightest star, Sirius, shining low and sharp in the southern sky, you're actually looking at a binary star system. 2 stars locked in an endless dance, circling each other every half-century, their light blending into one single gleam visible from Earth. And though we only see a sparkle, out there are 2 suns weaving gravity's graceful waltz, a reminder that even stars are not alone. Our own sun too was likely born with a companion, lost now in the vast stretches of space, because most stars in the galaxy are born as pairs or trios, clustered in great nurseries of gas and dust where gravity pulls clouds into shining spheres, igniting the delicate flame of fusion that powers every sun. And those glowing clusters are not still, they drift gently, scattering across the galaxy over millions of years until the stars that were once siblings become strangers across the night. Somewhere above, a red giant swells slowly, nearing the end of its life, its light a deep crimson pulse that tells a quiet story of age. Because as stars grow old, they exhaust the hydrogen in their cores, and when that happens, they expand into enormous glowing orbs, larger than 1 million suns combined, and their gentle outer layers begin to drift away into space, forming soft clouds of color called nebulae, those breathtaking misty shapes that decorate the night like dreams painted in light. When you gaze at the Orion Nebula, for instance, you're seeing a place where new stars are being born, a cosmic nursery of pinks and purples glowing with newborn suns wrapped in clouds of stardust, the same kind of dust that, over billions of years, came together to form our world, your body, your breath, and the light in your eyes. Everything we are, every atom in you. In the oceans, in the air, was once part of a star, a fact that connects you silently to the very sky you're watching, as if the universe left tiny fragments of itself inside you so you could one day look back and remember where you came from. As the earth turns beneath the sky, constellations rise and fade like a slow cosmic clock, marking time not by minutes, but by the eternal rhythm of the heavens. And though we name them for stories, Orion the hunter, Cassiopeia the queen, Ursa Major the great bear, those patterns are illusions of distance. Stars that appear close to each other in our sky but are separated by unimaginable space, yet we group them anyway, because humans have always needed stories to make sense of the infinite. When you see the Milky Way stretching across the sky like spilled silver dust, you're looking toward the heart of our galaxy, a vast, rotating collection of hundreds of billions of stars, drifting together through the darkness like a glowing spiral of time, and in the center of it all lies something mysterious and quiet. A black hole so massive that nothing, not even light, can escape its gravity. Yet even that dark heart hums with energy, shaping the dance of the galaxy, holding stars in place like the rhythm of a song, and scattered all around the Milky Way are other galaxies, distant, faint smudges of light like the Andromeda Galaxy, which is actually moving toward us, slowly, silently. And in about 4 billion years, our galaxies will meet, not with noise or chaos, but with a slow merging of stars, their light weaving together into one new form, another step in the endless evolution of the universe. And between those galaxies drifts dark matter, invisible yet heavy, unseen yet shaping everything, the cosmic glue that holds galaxies together. And though we can't see it, its silent presence reminds us that most of what exists in the universe is hidden, known not by sight but by its gentle pull. Even the empty spaces between stars are not truly empty, they're filled with thin whispers of gas, drifting particles of dust, faint light from stars long gone, and radiation left over from the very beginning of time, the cosmic microwave background, a faint afterglow of the Big Bang that still hums softly across all of space, like the memory of creation itself. When you breathe under the stars, you're breathing in atoms that were once inside ancient suns, recycled through time and space. Part of the same story that stretches from the first spark of the universe to this quiet moment beneath the sky. Every shooting star you see is not a star at all, but a small fragment of space dust burning up in our atmosphere. Tiny travelers from the asteroid belt or the tails of comets, glowing for a heartbeat before vanishing into the dark. And yet that brief flight carries with it millions of years of history, dust that wandered through the solar system before meeting its end in a final flare of beauty. Meteor showers, like the Perseids or the Geminids, happen when Earth passes through trails of debris left behind by ancient comets, and for a few nights each year, the sky seems alive with falling light, as if the heavens themselves were raining stars to remind us of how connected everything truly is. When you look up at the night sky, and the stars grow brighter, what you're really seeing is a calm ocean to hum with quiet light, as though the sky is breathing softly above you, and if you listen closely, with your thoughts still and your heartbeat slow, you might almost sense the faint rhythm of the universe itself, a rhythm that has pulsed since the very first moment of time. Long before the earth, long before the sun, there was only a dense glow. A sea of energy that cooled and spread and gave birth to every particle that now makes up the stars and planets. And from that beginning, the universe has been expanding ever since, stretching gently outward, carrying galaxies farther apart in a silent drift that continues even now as you lie beneath the stars. Every star you see is part of that expansion, a piece of that ancient explosion still glowing after billions of years. And though their light feels eternal, each one has a story, a life, and an ending. Some short and brilliant, others slow and steady, their fates determined by their size, their fuel, and the delicate balance between gravity pulling inward and heat pushing outward. When a star much larger than our sun dies, it ends not with silence but with one of the most powerful events in the cosmos, a supernova, An explosion so bright it can outshine entire galaxies for a brief time, scattering elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron into space. The very ingredients that will someday form new stars, new planets, and even new life. In that way, the death of a star becomes the birth of countless others, a cycle of creation and renewal that never truly ends. And even in destruction, the universe remains gentle, patient, and full of purpose. Sometimes, the remnants of those ancient explosions collapse into dense stars called neutron stars, so compact that a teaspoon of their material would weigh billions of tons, and some of these spin rapidly, sending out beams of light like cosmic lighthouses, pulsars, blinking through space with the precision of a perfect clock. And deeper still, when a star many times larger than our Sun collapses completely, it becomes a black hole, a point of gravity so strong that not even light can escape. And though we cannot see them directly, their presence is known by the way they bend light, distort time, and tug on nearby stars. Yet even black holes are not truly dark. At their edges, swirling gas heats up and shines with furious light, marking the boundary where time itself seems to pause. These immense, mysterious objects sit quietly in the hearts of galaxies, shaping their growth and guiding their stars, like the deep bass note in the song of the cosmos. And somewhere out there, orbiting distant suns, are planets like ours, some large and stormy, some frozen and pale, and a few, perhaps, gentle and blue with oceans and skies, exoplanets so far away that their light takes centuries to reach us. Astronomers search for them using faint dips in starlight, tiny wobbles in brightness that reveal unseen worlds, and each new discovery brings the quiet possibility that somewhere, beneath another night sky, someone else might be looking back, wondering about us. When you think of it, the night sky is a mirror. Every star, every planet, every soft glow is both a mystery and a reflection of what we are made of, the same atoms, the same ancient dust, recycled endlessly through time. Even the moon, our closest neighbor, carries traces of that universal story. Its craters and shadows shaped by billions of years of quiet collisions, its light nothing more than the sun's reflection, softened by distance and time, bathing the earth in silver calm. And as it rises and sets, the tides of the ocean follow, drawn gently by its gravity, a reminder that even in silence, even across space, everything is connected. In the stillness of night, far above the thin veil of our atmosphere, satellites glide silently, tracing pale lines through the dark, whispering fragments of communication between worlds, while beyond them, the International Space Station orbits with quiet grace, a shining dot where humans float and dream, looking down at the same blue world that you see from below. And even farther still, robotic explorers drift away. Voyager 1, now in interstellar space, carries with it a golden record, a message from Earth traveling endlessly through the dark. Perhaps to be found someday by another intelligence, or perhaps to drift forever, a small symbol of curiosity and hope. This vastness can feel humbling, yet there is comfort in knowing that our small planet, our single sun, and our fragile lives are all part of something infinite, woven into a pattern that stretches beyond imagination. And though the universe seems silent, it speaks in light, in the slow shimmer of stars, in the faint glow of galaxies, in the hush between meteors. A language of beauty that needs no words. The longer you look, the more you notice subtle things. How the stars near the horizon twinkle more because their light passes through thicker air. How the color of a star reveals its temperature. Blue stars burning hotter and younger, red stars cooler and older. How even the faintest speck might be a distant sun with planets of its own. And as your eyes adjust to the dark, the number of visible stars multiplies until the sky feels infinite, an ocean of light that wraps around the world. The Milky Way arches overhead like a river made of diamonds, its soft glow a reminder that we live inside it, orbiting a modest yellow star about halfway from the center, traveling at unimaginable speed through space. Yet from here, under this calm sky, everything feels still. It's peaceful to think that while we sleep, the Earth is spinning gently, the moon is gliding through its orbit, and the galaxy is turning slowly, like a grand clock that measures not hours but eons. The night sky, in its quiet way, holds time itself, light that began its journey before the first humans walked the earth now reaches your eyes tonight, and the glow you see from a star may be the last light it ever gave before fading long ago. So each sparkle in the sky is both a memory and a message from the past. When the first light of dawn begins to brush the horizon, the stars retreat one by one, not vanishing, but simply hidden by the brightness of day, waiting to return again, as they always do. And though the night sky feels distant, it is part of you, every atom. In your body once burned in a star, every breath you take contains traces of ancient starlight, and every heartbeat is a tiny echo of the rhythm that began with the birth of the cosmos. So when you close your eyes, remember that you are made of the same light you see above, part of the same story that has no end, a quiet traveler in an endless, shining universe where even in the deepest dark, there is always light, always motion, and always the soft, eternal glow of the night sky watching over you, high above the stillness of the world, beyond the whispering breath of clouds and the soft sigh of the wind. The night sky continues its timeless dance, a grand, gentle waltz of drifting lights and silent travelers, each carrying a story written long before humankind ever looked up. At times, a streak of silver cuts across the dark for only a heartbeat, a meteor, a tiny grain of cosmic dust entering our atmosphere at unimaginable speed. It glows brightly for a fleeting second, then vanishes, leaving behind nothing but a faint trace of light and a lingering sense of wonder. These falling stars, as ancient watchers once called them, are not stars at all, but visitors from space, fragments of comets and asteroids, older than Earth itself, wandering endlessly until gravity guides them into our skies. Though they burn away in an instant, that flash carries the weight of millions of years, matter that once drifted near alien suns and distant planets, now offering one last spark of beauty before becoming part of our world. At certain times each year, the heavens seem to open their hands and let fall showers of these celestial sparks, the Perseids of August, the Geminids of December, graceful gifts from ancient comets long gone, their trails of dust crossing Earth's path as we journey around the sun. Each glowing streak is like a whisper from deep time, a quiet reminder that even destruction can be beautiful when it returns as light. Far beyond those fleeting meteors, comets wander through the deep, icy nomads from the edge of the solar system, where sunlight is only a distant glow. When one drifts close to the sun, it begins to awaken. Ice turns to vapor, dust spreads into a shining tail that can stretch for millions of kilometers, always streaming away from the sun like a banner of light. Each comet carries frozen relics of creation, tiny preserved memories of the early solar system, and when they appear in our skies, they remind us how ancient, vast, and alive the cosmos truly is. Some, like Halley's Comet, return like old friends, once every 76 years, to be seen by countless generations who gaze upward in wonder at the same luminous traveler crossing the same endless night. But sometimes, the sky's magic comes not from outer space, but from our own living world. In the silent, frigid regions near the poles, the heavens bloom with flowing ribbons of color, green, violet, and gold, moving like slow breaths across the darkness. These are the auroras, the northern and southern lights, born when solar particles meet Earth's magnetic field and dance along its invisible lines. They release their energy in soft, glowing waves that shimmer high above. Watching them feels like witnessing the planet itself dream, the atmosphere painting the sky in motion, as if the world were quietly singing to the stars. The aurora's light makes no sound, yet its movement feels like music, a celestial lullaby that hums of peace, mystery, and belonging. Closer to home, the planets move in their endless circuits, each one a world of its own, bathed in sunlight and cloaked in silence. Mercury, the small and swift messenger, races nearest to the sun, its surface scorched by day and frozen by night. Venus follows, a radiant jewel in the twilight sky, its bright clouds hiding a realm of crushing heat and molten fire beneath. Then comes our Earth, blue, breathing, alive, wrapped in water and cloud, the only world we know that sings with life. Beyond us, Mars glows red and quiet, its deserts stretching beneath a pale pink sky, where ancient valleys and frozen poles whisper of rivers long vanished, and perhaps, of life that once was. Still farther, the giants reign, Jupiter, immense and magnificent, swirling with tempests so vast that Earth could vanish inside them. Its clouds spin in hues of white, brown, and red, a living canvas of perpetual motion. Around it dance its moons, each a world of wonders. Icy Europa with its hidden ocean, volcanic Io alive with flame, and Ganymede, larger even than Mercury, carrying its own magnetic heart. Beyond Jupiter, Saturn turns in silence, wrapped in rings of ice and dust that catch the sunlight like scattered jewels. Those delicate rings, suspended in perfect order, seem too fragile to be real, a cosmic masterpiece of balance and grace. Still farther drift Uranus and Neptune, the pale blue sentinels of the outer dark. Cold, remote, and slow-moving, they shimmer faintly under a distant Sunday. Beyond them lies the Kuiper Belt, a realm of frozen shadows and forgotten worlds, including tiny Pluto, once hailed as a planet, now remembered as a symbol of mystery and endurance at the farthest edge of sunlight. Out there, the solar system thins into emptiness, but its harmony continues, each planet and moon following a silent rhythm, orbiting in patient, eternal grace. Beyond even that, where sunlight fades to nothing, the edge of the solar system blurs into the interstellar deep. There lies the heliosphere, a faint bubble marking the last breath of the sun's warmth. Beyond it, the true night begins, the space between stars, vast and quiet, filled with drifting dust and ancient starlight traveling endlessly through eternity. Somewhere out there, two tiny spacecraft, the Voyagers, continue their infinite journey. They carry a golden record, etched with the sounds of Earth, the wind, the sea, the laughter of children, the beating of a heart, a message from one small, blue world to whoever might one day listen across the dark. If you close your eyes and imagine all of this, meteors glowing and vanishing, comets unfurling their icy tails, auroras breathing color into the polar sky, planets turning like notes in a celestial song, you begin to feel the truth that everything in the universe moves with quiet purpose. The cosmos is not chaos, but rhythm, a grand harmony of creation and decay, of light and shadow, of birth and return. Every shimmer, every streak, every silent motion in the heavens is part of that endless flow, a reminder that even in the stillness of night, the universe is awake, alive, and dreaming. And beneath that boundless canopy of stars, you lie here, breathing softly, made of the same atoms that once shone in distant suns, a small but luminous part of the cosmic sea that never ends. The Milky Way seems to shimmer with its own quiet fire, yet its light is only the combined breath of billions of suns, so distant that their rays blur together into one pale glow. Every point you see is the end of a long journey. Photons that left their home stars tens of thousands of years ago have crossed the deep night to find your eyes. They travel unhindered because space itself is mostly nothing, an immense ocean of near-perfect emptiness, so sparse that two atoms might drift for miles before meeting. This emptiness is what allows the light of the galaxy to flow freely, each ray carrying a tiny memory of where it began, and together they create that milky band that seems to spill across the sky. Our own solar system lies inside one of the galaxy's outer arms, a quiet neighborhood far from the crowded, brilliant center. Gravity, that invisible sculptor, holds it all together. Every star pulls on every other, their combined attraction curving the whole system into a graceful spiral that turns with patient grace. We never feel this motion, but even now the Sun and its family of planets are gliding around the galactic core at nearly 500,000 miles per hour, a silent voyage that will last 200 million years before one full circle is complete. The same gravity that binds galaxies is what keeps our small worlds balanced close to home. The planets do not fall into the Sun because they are also falling around it, their sideways motion forming an endless curve. Each world, from the smallest to the largest, obeys this invisible rule, turning its orbit into a steady lullaby of motion. Jupiter's vast bulk pulls slightly on its neighbors, helping to shape the architecture of the solar system. Saturn's rings, though delicate, are a dance of gravity and collision, ice and dust pieces tugging and releasing until they settle into shimmering lines of order. Even the tiny particles that form meteor streams follow this law. They were once part of comets, bodies of ancient ice and dust that wander through the deep. When sunlight touches a comet, the warmth wakes frozen gases trapped within it, and these gases escape, carrying fine grains of dust outward. Solar wind, a stream of charged particles blowing constantly from the sun, then catches those grains and pushes them behind the comet, creating its glowing tail. The reason a comet's tail always points away from the sun is not because of speed, but because of that steady wind, invisible yet ever-flowing, like a cosmic breeze. As comets travel, they shed tiny fragments that remain along their paths, and when Earth's orbit crosses those paths, the fragments meet our atmosphere. The sudden friction makes them burn in streaks of light we call meteors. Most are no larger than grains of sand, but the energy of their fall is enough to make them flare for an instant brighter than the stars behind them. If you could slow that moment down, you would see the air itself glowing with the heat of the encounter, molecules excited to incandescence before they cool and fade back into darkness. The smell of burnt dust that sometimes follows a larger meteor is the scent of space meeting air, rare, fleeting, and ancient. The constancy of these showers, returning every year as the planet circles the sun, is a reminder that the heavens have patterns just as the tides do, slow rhythms written in dust and light. Farther north and south, where Earth's magnetic field bends inward, another phenomenon unfolds, the aurora. The sun, though far away, breathes out a wind of particles, protons and electrons, that race through space. When these charged travelers reach Earth, most are deflected by the planet's magnetic shield, but near the poles the field guides them downward, funneling them toward the thin upper atmosphere. There they collide with atoms of oxygen and nitrogen, and each collision transfers energy that those atoms cannot hold for long. When the atoms release that energy, they do so as light, green and red from oxygen, blue and purple from nitrogen. The result is a curtain of living color, constantly shifting as more particles arrive, flicker, and fade. No two auroras are ever the same, yet all share that same ethereal grace, silent ribbons that whisper of the sun's distant pulse. If you could rise high enough to look down upon such a display from above, you would see vast ovals of light around each pole, like halos surrounding the planet. Satellites sometimes capture this sight, showing our world draped in luminous veils that shimmer in response to solar storms. These storms begin when magnetic fields on the sun twist and snap, releasing waves of energy that surge through space. They can reach Earth in a few days, slightly compressing our magnetic field and intensifying the auroras. The same events that might disrupt radio signals or power lines also paint the sky in color, proof that beauty and force are entwined in the universe's design. Even the steady glow of the Milky Way has its own scientific melody. The brighter knots of light along its length are clusters of newborn stars forming within giant clouds of gas. When such a cloud becomes dense enough, its own gravity causes it to collapse inward. The pressure rises, and atoms of hydrogen begin to fuse into helium, releasing light and heat. This is the birth of a star, the same process that powers our sun. Over millions of years, the newborn star may gather planets around it from leftover dust, and those planets might cool, harden, and spin, some with moons, some with rings, some perhaps with oceans. In that way, every gleam in the Milky Way is not only a sun but a potential cradle of worlds. Our sun is an average example, neither the largest nor the smallest. Its light takes about 8 minutes to cross the 93 million miles to Earth, and it is that warmth and energy that sustain every living thing here. The balance between the heat we receive and the cold of space creates the climate in which life can thrive. Were we much closer, the oceans would boil, much farther, and they would freeze. This narrow band, often called the habitable zone, exists around countless other stars as well. Astronomers searching for exoplanets, worlds beyond our solar system, often look for this same balance, hoping to find another Earth adrift in the darkness. Each discovery adds another note to the cosmic lullaby, a quiet assurance that the story of life might be written in many places, not just our own. Sometimes we forget that everything we see above has a rhythm governed by time as well as motion. Stars are born, live, and eventually die. When a massive star reaches the end of its fuel, it collapses and explodes in a supernova, an event so bright it can outshine an entire galaxy for a few weeks. The remnants of those explosions, iron, carbon, oxygen, become part of the interstellar dust that will someday form new stars, new planets, and perhaps new living beings. The calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the oxygen we breathe all originated in such cosmic fires. To lie beneath the night sky is to be reminded that we are not apart from it but made of it, that the universe is both our origin and our home. The quiet harmony that holds the planets in their orbits, the gentle pressure that makes auroras dance, the fusion that keeps stars burning, these are all expressions of the same physical laws, simple yet profound. Gravity, electromagnetism, the weak and strong nuclear forces, invisible, constant, unbroken. They shape everything from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, linking the whole universe in a web of balance. When you look up at the night sky, what you're really seeing is a calm ocean of the night continues its slow breathing above, and the Milky Way stretches like a pale river across the darkness. Not a single cloud of light but billions upon billions of suns whose combined glow drifts through the thin dust of our galaxy. Each speck of that dust is a storyteller, scattering the light until it seems to float in a faint silver haze, and that is why the Milky Way appears soft instead of sharp. What holds this glowing wheel together is gravity, that invisible, patient hand that keeps every star circling the center where a supermassive black hole waits, quiet but powerful, drawing space itself inward. Around it, spiral arms drift like the slow whirl of smoke, and within those arms new stars are born from cold gas, glowing gently as they awaken, while ancient stars fade like embers. Somewhere within one of those arms lies our Sun, traveling with its family of planets in a calm orbit that takes 200 million years to complete a single turn around the galaxy's heart. When you look up and see that hazy band of light, you are looking through the disk of our home, seeing not only stars as they are, but as they were, their light traveling for tens of thousands of years to reach your eyes tonight. And as that light glides softly down to Earth, comets wander silently in the vastness beyond, those icy travelers from the edges of the solar system, born in a distant region called the Oort cloud. They spend most of their long lives in darkness, frozen and still, until the sun's gravity pulls them inward. Then warmth touches their surface, and ice turns to gas, and dust escapes like a breath, forming that glowing tail that always points away from the sun. Each comet is both ancient and fragile, a piece of the early solar system carrying whispers of how our world began. Sometimes their paths cross ours, leaving trails of dust that our planet later drifts through, and when those grains burn in our atmosphere, we see them as shooting stars, brief sparks of light that seem to grant wishes. But truly, they are memories, tiny remnants of comets, turned to ash by the air we breathe. The next time a meteor streaks across the sky, imagine it as a traveler returning home, finishing its long journey in a final, brilliant sigh. And farther north or south, near the magnetic edges of our world, the sky itself begins to glow. Curtains of green and violet shimmer above the poles, soft and slow, as though the heavens were breathing color. These are the auroras, born when the solar wind, streams of charged particles from the sun, meets Earth's magnetic field. Instead of crashing down, those particles are guided along invisible lines to the poles, where they collide with atoms high in our atmosphere, releasing tiny bursts of light. Oxygen glows green or red, nitrogen paints the sky blue and purple, and together they create the quiet dance we call the northern or southern lights. Imagine standing beneath them on a frozen night, the air still and silent, as if the universe were drawing a veil of color across its own face. Every flicker is a conversation between the sun and our planet, a gentle reminder that even across 93 million miles, they are connected by more than light. They are bound by magnetism, by energy, by the rhythm of cosmic breath. And as you listen to that silent exchange, remember that the same sun that shapes the auroras also warms the seas, stirs the winds, and feeds the life that listens now. Around it, the planets move with quiet precision, each one obeying the pull of gravity, each one balanced by motion. Mercury races close to the sun, Venus glows beneath her cloudy veil, Earth spins in her cradle of blue, Mars rests red and waiting, and beyond them the giants drift in their slow harmony. Jupiter with its storms, Saturn with its rings, Uranus and Neptune turning in distant twilight. The solar system is a clockwork made of light and stone, but it is also a lullaby, a melody of balance and distance, motion and pause. Gravity hums the bass line, the sun keeps the rhythm, and every planet adds its own soft note. When you think of this, you might realize that nothing in space is truly still. Even the stars we believe are fixed are moving together, like dancers in an endless waltz around the galactic core. And beyond our galaxy, millions of others drift, each a whirlpool of stars, gas, and dark matter, each separated by oceans of silence so vast that light itself takes billions of years to cross them. Somewhere out there are galaxies colliding, stars being born, planets forming in the dust, cosmic gardens where time grows slowly and light is the only seed. Yet from this small blue world, we can see it all, not with eyes alone but with imagination, that quiet telescope of the heart. The night sky is not merely above us, it is within us, written in the atoms of our blood and bones, forged in the furnaces of long-dead stars. The iron that carries oxygen through your veins, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in every breath, all were once part of a star's heart that exploded, scattering its essence into the cosmos until gravity gathered it again into new worlds, new life, new dreams. So when you gaze upward tonight, you are not just looking into space, you are remembering home. The light that travels from distant suns passes through you and continues on, as if you were part of the story, not only an observer. And perhaps that is the quiet truth the night has always whispered, that we are the universe seeing itself, that our wonder is the cosmos awakening to its own beauty. Somewhere, stars are being born as others die, and galaxies spin on, and the universe expands, not in chaos but in a graceful unfolding, like a flower opening in slow motion. The dark is not emptiness but possibility, a canvas stretched wide for the light to paint upon. And as you lie there, breathing slowly, hearing the quiet hum of your own heartbeat, remember that it, too, is cosmic, the rhythm of atoms once belonging to stars, now keeping time inside you. The night sky does not ask us to solve it, it only asks us to see, to feel, to know that wonder itself is enough. So let the last of this light drift through you, gentle and endless, like starlight across the sea of time, and rest in that thought, that somewhere, above and within, the universe is still unfolding, slow and soft, in perfect, infinite grace. And so, the night deepens, yet it never truly grows old, because even when we sleep beneath it, the universe continues to move, to hum, to dream in its own way. Far above the thin shell of our atmosphere, satellites glide silently through the black, tracing invisible paths along the curvature of the earth, joining the ancient lights in their slow parade. These small machines, built by our curious hands, circle among the relics of creation, meteor dust, fragments of old rockets, the faint shimmer of cosmic rays, each one a reminder that humanity, too, has begun to write its name among the stars. And beyond them, the endless field of galaxies stretches on, some spiral like ours, others shaped like smooth ellipses or ghostly smudges of light, all drifting through expanding space. The further away we look, the younger the universe becomes, because light takes time to travel, and in those distant flickers we see the past unfolding like pages of a cosmic diary. Astronomers sometimes say we are looking back in time, and it's true, every star, every galaxy, every faint glow from the dawn of creation is a letter written long ago, finally arriving at our small planet. The background of it all, the cosmic microwave whisper, is the oldest light there is, the fading echo of the Big Bang, stretched thin and cool over billions of years, yet still murmuring softly through the universe like a lullaby that never ends. Imagine it now, the afterglow of the birth of everything, still shimmering faintly in the dark, a reminder that even the greatest explosions eventually become gentle light. And still, the universe expands, space itself stretching as if it were breathing out, stars moving apart, galaxies drifting farther. But the connections remain, the same laws, the same harmony, the same quiet rhythm holding all things together. Even the atoms that make you, spinning and vibrating with invisible energy, obey that same rhythm. They respond to gravity, to light, to the subtle pull of existence that ties the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy. When you think of it like that, you might realize that there is no real boundary between the sky above and the life below. The breeze that touches your face once passed through the lungs of trees fed by sunlight born in stars. The water that rests in your glass may have once drifted as ice in a comet's tail before falling as rain to earth. Every atom of you, every breath, every heartbeat is part of a cycle that loops endlessly through time and space. We are not separate from the night sky, we are one of its quiet expressions. To gaze upward, then, is to meet yourself, not as a person, but as a piece of something vast and graceful, something that does not end. And this is perhaps the most relaxing truth about the night sky, that it goes on, unhurried, unchanged by our worries, untouched by the noise of our days. It waits patiently for us to notice, to slow down, to listen. If you let yourself listen long enough, you can almost hear the hum of creation, the vibration of starlight crossing distances so great that human numbers cannot hold them, the faint heartbeat of galaxies turning together in cosmic time. And in that soundless harmony, you might understand that the universe does not shout, it whispers. It whispers through the glow of the Milky Way, through the soft pulse of an aurora, through the silver trail of a comet, through the silence between stars. It tells you that everything has its place, its motion, its moment of brightness. And though we are small, we are not insignificant. We are the part of the cosmos that can feel all, that can dream, that can tell its own story back to the stars. So as you stay here, calm and unhurried, let that awareness settle around you like a blanket of light. Let your breath match the rhythm of the spinning earth, let your heartbeat echo the pulse of faraway suns, and let your thoughts drift like dust in a beam of starlight. The universe is still singing, softly, in every direction, a song of atoms and gravity and time. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize there is no final verse, no ending, only continuation, only wonder, only the quiet invitation to keep listening, to keep looking up, and to keep being part of this infinite, beautiful conversation between the stars and you. Above us stretches the endless night sky, a deep ocean of darkness speckled with quiet, ancient light, each star glowing softly like a memory from across time, whispering the history of the cosmos in silence. When you look upward, you are not merely seeing the present, you are looking back into the past, because starlight takes time to travel. Some of the stars shining tonight began their journey toward your eyes before humans even existed, crossing millions or even billions of years of space. The night sky, in its calm stillness, is really a vast archive of the universe's story, written in light. Every small point you see has a story of birth, life, and transformation. Stars are born in enormous clouds of gas and dust called nebulae, places where gravity gathers particles together until their weight and pressure ignite nuclear fire. The soft radiance that reaches you is the quiet echo of that nuclear fusion, a delicate balance of energy where hydrogen atoms combine to form helium, releasing light and heat. In a way, stars are the beating hearts of the universe, fusing simple elements into the complex materials that make life possible. Our own sun is just one of those countless stars, a middle-aged, yellow dwarf star gently burning in a spiral arm of the Milky Way. Its light takes 8 minutes to reach Earth, crossing 93 million miles of quiet space. That light warms your face, feeds the trees, powers the ocean's rhythms, and glows again as the moon's reflection at night. The moon, that silver companion in our sky, is not a light source of its own, but rather a mirror, reflecting sunlight across the darkness. When it is full, it shines with about 7% of the sunlight it receives, enough to cast soft shadows and paint the landscape with a pale, ghostly glow. Its calm orbit around the Earth tugs gently on our oceans, creating tides that rise and fall like a steady breath, connecting us to the movements of the cosmos. The moon's craters tell the story of time, ancient impacts that remind us how the early solar system was wild and alive with collisions, forming and reshaping the worlds we know today. And if you look deeper, past the moon's edge, past the nearby planets, your gaze falls into the Milky Way, our home galaxy, a vast spiral system containing more than 100 billion stars, drifting together through the void. From our position inside one of its arms, the Milky Way appears as a faint, misty band crossing the night, but in truth, it is a disk nearly 100,000 light-years across. A light-year, that strange measure of distance, is how far light travels in a year, about 6 trillion miles, and even that immense span is small compared to the scales of galaxies. The Milky Way's spiral arms are shaped by the slow dance of gravity, where stars, gas, and dark matter move in intricate patterns, orbiting the galactic center once every 200 million years. Deep at that center lies a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A*, millions of times the mass of our Sun, hidden behind veils of dust. It doesn't pull us in, we're far too distant, but it quietly holds our galaxy together, its gravity shaping the motions of countless stars. Around us, the Milky Way is not empty but full of faint light, clusters of newborn stars still wrapped in their glowing nebulae, remnants of exploded giants scattered into beautiful shapes, and drifting dust that paints the galaxy in subtle colors. If you could drift above our world, into space, and look back, you would see our Milky Way as a glowing pinwheel of white and blue light surrounded by the deep black of intergalactic night. And beyond that, there are billions of other galaxies, each with its own stars, planets, and mysteries, all part of an even grander cosmic structure that extends as far as we can measure. What seems to the eye like empty darkness is filled with energy, particles, and invisible forces that connect everything together. Gravity, for example, is the quiet architect of the universe, the unseen thread that binds stars into galaxies and galaxies into clusters. It is what sculpts the orbits of planets, the gentle fall of a comet, and the spiral form of galaxies. Even though you can't feel it consciously, gravity holds you close to the Earth while also linking you to every other object in the universe, a continuous web of attraction. The faint glow of the Milky Way we see on a dark night is the combined light of billions of distant suns, their radiance softened by the dust that lies between us. Each star, each shining point, may have its own family of planets orbiting quietly, unseen but perhaps alive in their own mysterious ways. Astronomers estimate there could be more planets than stars in our galaxy, each one a small possibility in the vast sea of existence. Some of those worlds might be gas giants with swirling storms like Jupiter, others rocky and blue like Earth, and still others frozen or scorched, orbiting too far or too close to their stars. Yet all of them belong to the same cosmic pattern, formed from the same ancient dust that once drifted between stars. In that sense, we, too, are part of the universe's quiet rhythm. The atoms in your body were once inside a star. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, all were forged in stellar furnaces and released when those stars died, scattering their enriched ashes into space. Over time, those elements gathered again, forming new stars, planets, and eventually life. To think of this is to feel both small and infinite at once, a living part of a much larger story that has been unfolding for billions of years. The night sky is not just a view, it is a mirror of our origins. As you gaze upward, every twinkle is a reminder that you are made of the same light and matter that fills the cosmos. And when you look closely, you'll notice that stars are not all the same. They come in colors, sizes, and lifetimes. The hottest stars shine blue or white, burning quickly and fiercely for just a few million years, while cooler stars glow orange or red, living for billions. Our sun sits somewhere in the middle, a stable warmth giver that will shine for another 5 billion years before it transforms into a red giant, and then a quiet white dwarf. The universe renews itself constantly. Death and creation are the twin pulses of its heartbeat. The remnants of dead stars form nebulae, their gases stretching out in delicate patterns that will someday collapse again into new suns. Even in death, the cosmos continues to create beauty. When you see a bright star twinkling, part of that shimmer is due to Earth's atmosphere bending the starlight slightly as it passes through layers of air, making it flicker. That tiny motion is a whisper of the vast distance the light has traveled, a silent echo across unimaginable space. Every glimmer in the night is a message from the universe, reminding you that everything is connected through time and light. Even the darkness between stars isn't truly empty. It hums faintly with radiation left over from the Big Bang, the afterglow of creation itself, still whispering through space after nearly 14 billion years. The longer you look into the night, the more it reveals its quiet secrets, as if the sky itself is breathing with you, opening layer after layer of calm wonder. Near the horizon or across polar skies, ribbons of green and violet light sometimes ripple, the northern lights, or auroras, born from the meeting of solar wind and Earth's invisible shield. The sun, though distant, constantly sends streams of charged particles through space, and when those particles reach Earth, our planet's magnetic field guides them toward the poles, where they collide with molecules high in the atmosphere. Oxygen glows green, nitrogen shines purple or red, and together they weave curtains of light that shimmer like slow-moving waves. No two auroras are ever the same, and though they seem like magic, they are really the visible breath of space weather, a reminder that our planet lives in a sea of solar energy. In the same way, the quiet points that streak across the night sky, meteors, are pieces of ancient rock and dust, fragments left behind by comets or asteroids, burning brightly as they fall through our atmosphere. Most are no larger than grains of sand, yet when they strike the air at tens of thousands of miles per hour, they blaze briefly before fading. On certain nights, when Earth passes through a dense trail of comet dust, the sky fills with falling stars, meteor showers that light up the dark like soft rain. And the comets themselves, those mysterious wanderers of the solar system, are icy remnants from the time of planet formation, drifting in huge, distant orbits around the Sun. When they approach, sunlight warms them, releasing vapor and dust that form the glowing tails we see, one pointing away from the Sun in a straight beam of gas, the other a gentle curve of dust trailing behind. These cosmic visitors remind us of how vast and ancient the solar system is, filled with frozen memories from the dawn of creation. And beyond comets, there are the planets, each one with its own character, its own light. Venus, the brightest, shines like a jewel in the evening or dawn, its thick clouds reflecting sunlight so strongly that it outshines every star. Mars glows softly red, a world of dust and stone where winds sculpt the surface into rippling dunes. Jupiter, the giant, spins furiously with swirling storms larger than Earth itself, its bands of color stretching across a world of gas and lightning. Saturn, encircled by its delicate rings of ice, drifts serenely through the cold, its beauty unmatched in the night sky. Uranus and Neptune lie farther still, cold and dim, their light barely reaching us, whispers from the outer dark. Each planet tells a part of the solar system's story, shaped by time, gravity, and sunlight. And all of them orbit our one small star, a tiny light among countless billions. As you let your thoughts wander farther, past even our galaxy, you begin to sense the universe as a whole, a quiet web of galaxies stretching in every direction. Each faint smudge of light beyond the Milky Way is another galaxy, filled with its own suns, planets, and stories. Some spiral gracefully, others form elliptical clouds or irregular clusters of light, each held together by gravity and drifting apart from one another as space itself expands. The deeper we look, the more we see, until distance fades into mystery. Even black holes, those invisible hearts of gravity, fit peacefully into this cosmic rhythm. They are not monsters but transformations, born when massive stars collapse at the end of their lives, their gravity so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. Yet they do not destroy the universe, they shape it. Around them, matter swirls in luminous disks, heating and glowing as it falls inward, creating some of the brightest beacons in space, quasars and active galactic nuclei that shine across billions of light years. In this way, even darkness gives birth to light. The same principle echoes everywhere, stars born from clouds, dying in explosions, scattering new seeds of creation. Even the most distant galaxies are part of a greater structure, filaments of matter stretching across the universe like threads in a cosmic web, connecting everything together. The night sky above us is only the visible edge of this vast, interconnected sea. And though it feels still, it is always moving, stars orbiting their centers, galaxies colliding and merging, space itself expanding faster and faster. The light you see from the stars has been stretched by that expansion, its wavelength lengthened into redder tones, a cosmic echo of motion that scientists call redshift. Every photon that reaches your eyes has crossed unimaginable distances, yet it still carries its message of warmth and age, whispering, "I was here, I traveled, and now I am home." The more you learn about the night sky, the more it becomes both familiar and infinite. Even the faintest starlight is part of a great harmony, a rhythm that began at the birth of the universe and continues in every heartbeat, every breath. The Big Bang was not an explosion in space, but an expansion of space itself, the beginning of time and matter, when all the energy and potential of existence was compressed into a single, unimaginable point. From that moment, everything expanded outward, forming atoms, stars, galaxies, and eventually us. The same energy that blazed at the dawn of time still hums softly in the background, known as the cosmic microwave background radiation, a gentle glow that fills all of space. When scientists tune their instruments just right, they can still hear the faint hiss of that ancient light. To imagine this is to realize how deeply connected we are to the universe, not as observers standing apart, but as participants woven into its fabric. Every atom in your body, every cell and breath, belongs to this cosmic story. You are made of star stuff, living briefly in the light between two eternities of night. And when you look up at the stars, you are looking into the mirror of your own beginnings. The silence of space is not emptiness but calm, a vast stillness where everything moves in quiet order, guided by laws so simple and elegant that they create endless complexity. And within that stillness there is beauty beyond words. The way light bends around gravity, the way time itself flows differently near massive bodies, the way tiny particles obey the same rules that govern galaxies. All of it, from the smallest atom to the largest cluster, is one continuous creation, endlessly unfolding. The more you think about it, the more peaceful it becomes. The universe does not hurry. It has all the time that ever was and ever will be. The stars shine without trying, the galaxies drift without effort, and the planets turn in silence. You, too, belong to that same quiet order, your thoughts moving like gentle waves under the same laws that guide the stars. So as you listen to these facts, let them soften into calmness, like waves fading on a shore of infinite time. Somewhere above, the Milky Way still glows, a river of light across the sky, its billions of stars forming a bridge between what is and what once was. The auroras still ripple, comets still wander, and meteors still fall like sparks from the forge of creation. The universe continues its quiet dance, unbothered by time, untouched by haste, perfect in its balance of light and dark. And as you rest beneath it, breathing slowly, you might feel something subtle, a sense of belonging, of peace, of timeless connection. The same starlight that has traveled for ages now rests gently on your eyelids.